I work with primary care physicians. When they have patients who are lonely, socially isolated, grieving, or just struggling with life, I'll go talk to the doctor and say, hey, you know, I looked at this patient chart. They look like they're a good candidate for Congregational Care Network. What do you think? And then they'll say, yeah, go in there and talk to them. Matter of fact, they are alone. And yeah, I think Congregational Care Network will be a good fit for them. Tricia is she's our social worker. And Tricia pretty much oversees like all the congregations, and she'll look at, you know, their area code, zip codes, and see where they are, and then try to match them up with a church that's close by.
With this program, it attached them to an individual that will contact them on a weekly basis, see how they were doing, assess if they had any particular issues or concerns that we may be able to assist them in getting connected with.
You'd be surprised how many people are living alone. They don't have any connections. They don't go anywhere. They're unable to move from this place to the kitchen or where he's at to the bathroom. And you know, this is a good start to just identify some of these people, just to identify them, to let somebody's got to do something.
The chaplains and people within IU Health find people that may benefit from a friend in the community as they leave the hospital setting, and who could keep their ears and their eyes open for somebody who could either use visiting or they could use some resources. And this would be sort of eyes and ears. We weren't really expected to solve problems, but we might be expected to help somebody solve their own problems with some of the resources at IU Health. CCN provided an opportunity for me to participate in my church at Second Presbyterian and connect with a community of people by visiting.
This lady called Deborah called me, and we hit her off real good. I mean, she's really a fantastic talker, and she has a lot of experiences hunting. She still goes hunting. Her and her husband went down quail hunting down in Georgia a couple of months ago, and she brought me back 5 quail.
I didn't have to help him connect to resources, which was interesting. But I'll tell you what I found. He was lonely. Profoundly lonely. His wife died 10 years ago. He is a man that walks 14,000 steps in his home a day.
I got a little tour I do. If I watch TV, it's time to start walking. So I just walk back in here, down the kitchen, back where my office is. If I said I didn't get lonely, I'd be lying, but I get lonely once in a while. But I'll come out of it.
In this day and age, I think it's a basic and yet so important thing to connect with people, more than ever. And I also think in my life, I've been lonely a couple of times, and when I lived abroad, and I have to say, I think loneliness is right next door to physical illness. It is a debilitating thing to feel alone. And I think a welcome voice on the phone, I think a little laugh, enjoying a laugh with somebody, it really creates energy for you and for me. I probably get as much out of these visits, and maybe some days more, than David does.
The other thing about being a connector is if they had a need, then we can, call the chaplain, call IU, or we have a form we fill out, and we put it there, and they get right on it, and it was a blessing. She had a heat problem. It was coming in, out, and it was cold, She finally got it taken care of, and I owe that, I think, to IU, the Connector program, that they made some calls, and, I believe that's what helped.
I have one older connector, older gentleman, very kind and compassionate, has been meeting with and calling a middle-aged lady who did mention that she had some needs as far as paying some of her medical bills. So we discussed that as a team on one of our calls, what would be a potential solution. And our church happens to provide a food and clothing ministry. It's a very large ministry, and you might think, how can a food and clothing ministry help someone pay their medical bills? But they can come once a week for food, And really, they literally take $200 worth of food each time. So that equates to $800 a month savings in food that they can put towards their medical bills. So in that way, we can help meet some of the needs of folks.
I love it. It's a joy to be able to help someone. You know, they're there alone. All they got is the telephone and the TV. And they, you know, and just the idea to get a laugh, just to hear them laugh. I mean, it's amazing. This program has really helped a whole lot of them.